Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Just bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie will connect you with local pros who match your specific needs. Or book a service instantly at an upfront price. So join the millions of homeowners who use Angie to care for their homes and get your next home service job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Hear that? Believe it or not, summer is just around the corner. Luckily, Armor All, America's most trusted auto appearance brand, has what your car needs to get that perfect summer shine. Plus, now through May 31st, we'll give you $5 for every $20 you spend on Armor All products. That means car wash pods, protectant, tire shine, you name it. Find out how to get your $5 rebate at armorall.com. Armor All, less work, more clean. Terms apply.
Didn't you want to keep the dog?
No, do you want to finish hearing the story?
No, I want you to answer me. Didn't you want to keep the dog?
This is the plaintiff, Christina Diaz. She says she's known the defendant for 8 years, and he owes her money for a French bulldog she sold to him. The guy keeps promising to pay her, but he never comes up with the cold hard cash. So she's suing him right here and now for the $1,556.92 she's owed. This is the defendant, Alan. He says the plaintiff was in a desperate situation because she broke up with her boyfriend and had to move to a place which didn't allow dogs. He promised to take over the $25 a month payment on the dog, but soon discovered the payments were in fact $85 per month. He told her he was in no position to spend that kind of money. Says the plaintiff tricked him and certainly does not owe her a thing. He's accused of trying to bow-wow his way out of a deal.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Christina Diaz, you are suing Alan. You've asked to be referred to only as Alan, yes, for $1,556.92 that you say you are out as a result of his misrepresentations. Tell me what's going on.
Okay, back in February 20th, 2014, I purchased a black French bulldog from a pet store in the mall. I had the dog for a couple of months.
How much did the dog cost?
The dog cost $2,000.
Okay. And were you financing the pet purchase?
I financed $1,100 of it.
Okay. What were the monthly payments?
$34.
Okay. And then what happens?
In July, I had to move, and because of my daughter's allergies, I couldn't keep the dog. So I contacted him and I asked if he was interested. He said he was interested, and I said I did tell him that there was financing. There was still some.
So the idea was that he would take over the payments?
Exactly.
Okay. And so you had put down everything but $1,100, and you weren't going to charge him anything. You were just going to eat that loss because of your circumstances, and he was going to pay $34 every month until the $1,100 was paid off.
Yes.
Had you ever made a payment?
I made payments, but I did let him know that I was a little behind, and he said he was okay with it, and we agreed that he would take over the payments. If I gave him the dog, he would take over the payments.
Including the past due balance?
Including the past due balance.
Okay.
I have text messages, him stating, I give you my word that I'll do right by you and I'll take over the payments. And I never received any payments. I gave him the dog and he never.
Not a single payment?
No.
All right. What seems to be the problem?
So the first time, the end of the month, she said she's going to move. So I said, no problem. So I called the place to make a payment. They told me I had access to that account. I can't do it. So I told Christina.
Why wouldn't they just take your money? Who cares who makes the payment?
Well, I told them to make a payment because she told me the payment was around $20 or something, almost $30. So I said, no problem. So I called them, and they told me the payment was like $80 or something.
Do you have any proof of that?
No, it was verbal on the phone. They wouldn't give me nothing because the money was in that account. So then I told her the information they gave me. She said, okay, she'll speak to them. I said, but why is it $80-something? She said she doesn't know, probably late payments, et cetera, et cetera. I said, okay.
Did you ever, did that conversation take place where he told you, hey, they told me it was $80?
Well, I did tell him right up front. I said, I am a little behind.
Yeah,
so
but,
it's
okay, but that's not the same as the payments are $80. That's $80 are due. What are the payments? Are the payments at $34 or aren't they?
I don't know. I was never able to, they would never tell me that information. They just told me that, they told me that payment.
Okay, I don't know. How is it easier for you guys to come to court to have me decide this than it is for you two to meet and go to the, didn't you want to keep the dog?
No, do you want to finish hearing the story?
No, I want you to answer me. Didn't you want to keep the dog?
Huh? Originally, yeah.
And then what happened to make you not want to keep the dog?
Then her ex-boyfriend contacted me, which is also a friend of mine. He contacted me and said, Christina gave you something that she wasn't supposed to give you. I said, what was that? He said, a dog. He said, both our names is on the lien for the dog. He said, she has no permission to give it to you. I said, Christina, is this true?
Except for that, as it turns out, that's not true, right?
he's not on any.
He's not on the loan.
I'm on the.
There is no lien. He's not on the loan. Mercifully, they don't lien pets. He's not on the law. I mean, they could. They're considered property under the law, but that would be so cruel. He's not on the loan, and he's not on the bill of sale, correct? May I see both the loan and the bill of sale? I mean, he may feel like it was his dog, too, but I don't see any evidence that it was.
On the medical paper she gave me, his name and her name was both on it.
Oh, really?
So
can I see him?
I don't have it.
Oh. Yeah, I'm only seeing her name, my friend. I don't see his name. So go on.
And so he told me that he put money towards it, so he wanted like $800 or $400 for it, and I refused to pay that. So then it was a dispute between them two because they separated. They were going through it. Then I text them both and told them that they both involved me into a dramatic situation I don't want to be involved in.
So what did you do with the dog?
He wanted the dog back, so I said, you can have it back. So I told my kids they can't have the dog no more. And then he said, oh, you got it neutered, so I don't want the dog back no more. So I said, okay, listen, I already told my kids you were taking it back. I'm not going to break their hearts again.
Oh,
and get it back to them, go back and forth.
How long had the dog been in your house?
Like a month and a half. But Christina, me and her spoke. She was going back and forth with him, and she agreed to pay him the money for the dog. But that wasn't okay with him. And then since they had problems in between, it was an issue. She ended up texting me, which I had to text as well, saying, I'm sorry, I messed up. I should have been honest and open from the beginning. I should have gave him the choice to take the dog back since it did belong to him too. Keep the dog, I'll take the loss.
Keep the dog, I'll take the loss.
I told her I didn't want to keep the dog. And then I text her and him a couple of times saying, who's taking this dog? Neither one of them wanted to take it. So later at my job, she loves dogs, takes care of the dogs. I asked her if she wanted to take care of it because I don't want to go back and forth. I don't know what's going to take place with my kids, getting attached to the dog and taking it away and attached to the dogs. So she said yeah, so she's had the dog since.
Who's paying?
No one's paid because I haven't heard Christina since she told me, don't worry, I'll see you in court.
Oh, did you say don't worry, or did she say don't worry, I'll see you in court?
She said don't worry, I'll see you in court.
Oh, well, that's totally different. All right, let me see everybody's texts.
You want the phone?
I actually want the phones, but since you went through the trouble of printing them out while you're getting your phones in gear.
It's probably easier to see from my phone than that.
Yeah, so let me see it from your phone. Okay, so he says to you, I'm going to give you the money to handle the one that's due immediately. I'm about to make the payment straight from my account. I didn't forget. And then apparently he forgets, but because it's back and forth. Okay, when did the boyfriend surface? Because all these texts up all the way up to January are you making excuses for not making payments. When did the dog transfer?
To him?
Yeah.
In July. I gave him the dog in July.
And he didn't make any payments from July to January?
Nothing.
Is that accurate?
No, it was after August.
Okay, so if it was August, you didn't make any payments between August and January, and you have countless texts back and forth making excuses for why you haven't gotten around to getting to the bank?
That wasn't it. What happened is before January, in September is when I first called up making I wasn't able to, like we told you the first time.
Okay, do you hear me? Because here's what I'm seeing.
I hear you.
I'm hearing you saying one thing, but here's what I'm reading. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was going to go. I should do right by you. You're such a good person. Hi, I'm sorry. I broke my promise. I forgot. Tomorrow, hit me up. Remind me to do what I gotta do.
She contacted me, begging me to help her.
Hi, what's up? Oh, sorry, I didn't have the number. I really just want to give you the money. And she's like, no, let's set it up. The way we said, will you please go to the bank? Let's set it up. Oh, I want to fix it. I'm a man of my word. I'll do right by you. And you're paying the late fees to keep the thing going?
Yes.
But like I said on the phone, she's asking to help with the dog and stuff because the situation with the situation.
I don't know what you're saying. You're not making any sense. You're not responding to what I am asking you.
I'm responding.
I'm asking you, why is there a period of time that you have the dog from August? You have the dog from August to January without making any payments?
I didn't have the dog that time. I told you I gave it away before
When did you give away the dog? And why are you saying you'll still pay for it later?
Back in November, because she's then on the phone.
Do you have an affidavit from the person who has a dog?
No.
Does that sound stupid to you or something? The face you put?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. All right, so you say you gave the dog away in November, and in January, on January 2nd, you're still making excuses for not paying. I never went, stuck at work till 9. When did you hear that he gave the dog away?
I didn't even know he gave.
You didn't know that till today, till you're here?
Yeah.
You thought stop talking. You thought he still had the dog?
All this time.
He never talked to you and told you I gave the dog to somebody else?
Responding to me
You
once.
think he probably still has a dog?
I have no idea. I don't talk to him, so I have no idea.
Do you know anybody else who knows him and knows whether he has a dog?
I stay away.
This mystery person might be just a mystery person he made up so that Judge Milian doesn't say return the dog?
It's possible.
You can't have the dog anyway. On January 8th, I don't know how many months, 5, 6 months later, she's texting you, I can't believe you're not answering me again. You have no intention of making the bank.
She changed her number, and she asked me to give her payments.
And here's your response on January 8th. I'm sorry, I didn't want to give you an excuse, that's why I haven't answered you. My son was hospitalized, I've been dealing with that. The other day I went to blah, 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 blah. So this whole, if you tell me, look, if I believed that the whole ex-boyfriend thing coming up and surfacing was a reason why you didn't want the dog, that would be one thing. Hey, you know what? You got him in the middle of this embroiled thing. This is not right, whatever. But I am clearly seeing that in January, August, by your count, August, September, October, November, December, January, 6 months later, you're telling her, I'm sorry, I'm going to make the payment. I promise, I'm going to make the payment. Do you have something from the loan company saying what the payoff amount is?
I'm telling you that I told her.
Do you have it?
I have the latest of what's...
Yeah, give me the latest. Yeah.
I told her that I'll pay for the dog for the time period that I had her, that I was agreed to at first. But
now you're doing that?
But afterwards, I wouldn't do it at the point of me telling her to take the dog back. All right, you know what?
You got the dog. I think you're a liar. Take this phone back to him. Right. Where is the last... This is the last balance is $1,692.
Yes.
Did you make any payments since July?
I've been paying the late fees, and I've paid a couple of the monthly payments.
Okay. These are all the statements from the time when he had the dog, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then it's all in here.
Well, how much was the monthly payments?
$37.
And she admitted herself that I called the first time, and they told her it was more than $37. That was over $80.
Minimum payment due, I'm looking at the bill. Minimum payment due is $37.
Yeah, you said what she paid.
Okay, you know what, we're not getting into this anymore because I don't believe you.
Then can I go home?
Okay, you got the dog. And you're a liar and you don't want your kids to lose a dog, and that's very nice. Just pay what you said you'd pay. Because when I see you texting in January, telling her things like, yeah, I'm going to make bank, I'll make it to the bank. I'm sorry, I want to do right by you. I'm a good guy, I'm a man of my word. What happened to that guy?
I don't know, can I go home
Instead,
now?
I got this here.
I'm sorry, can I go home?
I'm ruling in your favor in the amount that is outstanding now, plus the $350 that you've put into it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, get out of my courtroom.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, in the money department, who takes advantage of who more, men or women?
Women.
Why do you say?
Oh, you give that little smile and we really, really want something, and you know he's got it. And if you give him that little smile, little wink, he'll give it to you.
Let me try it a little differently. Who's more underhanded, men or women, when it comes to money?
I would say men.
Why do you say?
Well, when it's time for them to cow down, I think they do.
Really? Okay, you'll be the tiebreaker.
I think women...
Okay, we'll take that.
Yeah.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
I don't understand it. You guys were friends. How did, I realized that it was a mess. He was angry. You got him involved in all that, and you shouldn't have. You should have kept him out of your mess. But how did this get to this point?
I don't know, because we were good friends.
Because obviously you have to be telling the truth when you say that he said he'd take over the payments again after you texted him, I'll just eat at my loss. Because I see him texting you in January, in December, I see him texting you saying, oh, I'll make it to the bank, sorry.
And this is why I gave him the dog without receiving any payments, because I trusted him. We were friends. I trusted him.
Do you think he has a dog, or you think that
I have no idea.
How do you not have mutual friends who could tell you?
We're not friends anymore.
Yeah, but you don't have mutual friends? You don't look on his Facebook? You don't see pictures of him and the dog?
I stay away.
Stay away?
I stay away.
Have somebody else look. I'm dying to see it. I'm going to look up his Facebook and see if he has a dog. $1,356.92. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Okay, I got to tell you something. In the world of texting, all of these messages that go back and forth when you're dealing with somebody that may have nothing to do with a court case when you're doing it and end up being a court case, those messages can either win for you or they can kill you. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Whether it's routine maintenance, an emergency repair, or a dream project, Angie lets you compare quotes from multiple local pros, browse homeowner reviews, and even book a service instantly. Angie's been connecting people with skilled pros for nearly 30 years. So the next time you have a home project, bring it to Angie to get your job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Weighing in with soybeans and a baby show straight out of Norburn, Missouri, we have Soybean Festival. From Hayward, Wisconsin, at 73 years young with the world's largest muskie statue, put it together for Muskie Fest. Finally, packing a punch with fire dancing and a pet costume contest, the Roseau, Minnesota Fall Harvest Fest. One of these festivals could win $100,000 in the Cenex Hometown Throwdown. You decide. Cast your vote at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
This is the plaintiff, Terrence Harris. He says he hired the defendant to put a new engine into his 2007 Ford Fusion, and the inept mechanic ruined the car's computer system in the process. The defendant got in over his head. He screwed up his entire car, and now he must pay for his sins to the tune of $4,017.44, the amount he's suing for. This is the defendant, Stephen Rosenberg. He says he's a master mechanic, trained at one of the best schools in the country, so he knows what he's doing. He's sorry, but the computer system on the plaintiff's car was fried, and now he wants him to pay for it? He did nothing wrong. And if the guy would just get the computer fixed, he'd have a great and now reliable car. He's accused of revving up a lawsuit.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff hired the defendant to put a new engine in his 2007 Ford Fusion, but says that the guy in the process ruined the computer system. Now, the defendant says the system was fried before he started working on it. It's the case of a bad case of Fusion.
Welcome, ma'am.
Terrence Harris?
Yes.
You are suing Stephen Rosenberg?
Yes.
Okay, for $4,017.44. The amount that you paid him for an engine plus the amount it's going to cost you to get a new computer for the car.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, on February the 19th, I woke up and my car was making like a funny noise.
And what kind of car is this?
A 2007 Ford Fusion.
Okay.
So I went around the corner because his shop is close to my house or whatever.
Have you been there before?
No.
Okay.
And after they ran the test, he said that basically your engine is failing or whatever. He made a phone call. He said
what was wrong with the engine?
I hooked it up on a diagnostic, and then it came up with some codes, and it said he had misfires on 3 cylinders, which means that the engine was shot.
Okay, so he sells you a rebuilt engine?
Yes, a low-mileage engine. I actually replaced in his vehicle. I put it in his car.
Okay, and how much did you charge him for that?
I charged him $2,700 for the whole job.
Okay, now you pay for the job, and what happens?
Basically, that day I gave him because he said order so he can hold the engine. I'll have to put something down on there because he's getting the engine for a good price. So I paid him $240 that day, including the $40 towards the diagnosis test because he's saying that $40 go towards the work.
How much total did you pay him?
$2,200.
You think he paid you $2,700?
No, I told him 27 for the whole job. He paid me 22. I gave him credit of 500 because his computer was bad, and I told him he can apply that 500 towards that computer to get his vehicle fixed at that.
So the vehicle was never operable after you put in a new engine?
No, because the computer is bad.
How did you discover this? Well, when you tried to test?
After putting the engine in. The engine was fully functional, but then finding out the computer was bad, I took the car to the dealer myself. I paid for towing for the vehicle to go to the Ford dealership, you know, because they're the ones who's capable of putting a new computer in your car and resetting it and everything like that. They're the manufacturer where the car is made. So they told me the computer is bad. It's going to cost me a little bit over $1,000.
But is the computer bad, or is the engine that you put in not communicating with the computer?
No, it was the computer that was bad. After all
Do
the
you have the paperwork from Ford telling you that this computer had a problem, you know, that it was dysfunctional, not that... Because when you put in the new engine, you have to code the engine to the computer, right?
No.
Okay. Give me what you got from Ford telling you what the problem was.
They gave him a diagnosis sheet that told him his engine was bad.
He don't got nothing because I had to go up there and I had to pay him $89 just to get my car out of there.
Okay.
And I drove my car to his shop. I didn't get it towed to his shop. I drove it to his shop.
Yeah, did he originally drive the car to your shop?
Yeah, it barely drove, but he did drive it to the shop, yes.
So if the computer's not working, will the car drive?
Yes. Yes, it will.
So Ford gives you what? May I see what Ford gave you? Keys won't program, has no communication with the PCM. Recommended replacing the PCM.
PCM is short for computer.
Mm-hmm. What'd they tell you?
They told me they are getting no communication from the PCM. The PCM is fried, it's shot.
All right, so where's the car now?
Just sitting in front of my door.
Sitting in front of your door. You haven't been able to use it since when?
Since I took it to a shop.
So you are suing for $4,000. Explain. You want the $2,200 back for the engine, but don't you have a newish engine in there now?
Well, my old engine that was in there, when I took it to Meineke told me that I never needed a new engine.
Okay, show me what you got from Meineke. How would Meineke know whether your old engine was bad?
Because I gave him the diagnostics report that he gave me.
Let me see. Does Meineke actually say that yes. Diagnostic report doesn't require a new engine?
It tell you, it say what was the codes was reading. It say what the codes was reading from old engine. It say I just needed a tune up and
yeah, it doesn't say you didn't need a new engine, that this guy's a fraud and sold you an engine you didn't need. Where's that? That's not here, is it?
No, but it ain't say I did. Ain't say that I needed a new engine at all. He just
how would he know? There's already a new engine in it. He doesn't see the old engine. How would he know that the old engine was good?
Well, the engine that was in there before was, my car was running.
Sweetheart, you took your car to him because you had a problem. So it wasn't perfect. There was something wrong. You're telling me, Judge, that's not what was wrong. He stuck in an engine there when there was nothing wrong with my old engine. And I'm asking you a simple question. Prove that. So you handed me the Meineke report from the other, what is this mechanics place called Meineke, which is a chain. And you told me Meineke says my old engine was good. And I don't even understand how they could because they're not seeing it. So it doesn't say your old engine was good, does it?
No.
Okay. So there's no way Meineke told you that. Now, you have not paid how much is it going to cost to have the computer replaced? $1,400 was the quote?
Yes. But he told me if he put the engine inside my car going to run brand new. My car ain't starting at all.
All right, let me see. I have the Meineke report and I have the dealership's report. And is there anything else that you wanted to say or show me?
Yes, I did want to say, I felt sorry for him. He seemed frustrated, so he owed me, like he said, he owed me $1,000 from the balance of the job.
1,000 or 500?
He had owed me 1,000. I said, look, I'll take 500 from you and I'll apply that other 500 towards whatever is wrong with it. After the dealer found out it was a computer, I told him I was going to meet him halfway because I'm not responsible for the whole car. A computer problem is separate from an engine problem. Those are two different problems.
Right. Here's my worry.
Yes.
My worry is that there's something in changing the engines that had something to do with the computer.
It's totally unrelated.
You're saying that when you put in a new engine, you never have to do anything in order to communicate with the computer?
Not in that particular vehicle. Probably in a Mercedes-Benz and a higher-end foreign car that's more like technologically advanced, but not in that vehicle. As for that Ford Focus, Ford Fusion, that model that he has, no, you do not have to do that. No.
Okay.
Not that vehicle.
Court's in recess.
All rise.
So, I have no idea about this. If you put a new engine in a car, I have a theory, but could it damage or even ruin the car's computer system? You know anything about cars?
Yeah, I know a little about cars. It basically depends on how you install the engine. It really depends on, how...
Can it be, if it's done properly, will it retain the computer?
It should, yeah.
Anybody else know anything about it?
Just Volkswagen, they cheated on the emissions test of the computer.
Oh, good. You get an A in current events today. You have nothing to do with People's Court, but an A in current events. Good for you. Going inside the courtroom.
Okay. Mr. Rosenberg, I asked you the question, is it possible that changing the motor requires the reprogramming of the computer, or that this new motor may now not talk to that computer, and that you have to put in a new computer after you put in the motor in this model? And you said no. The 2007 Ford Fusion, is it?
Yes.
Does not have that issue. Categorically, you said it actually loud, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, I talked to Ford. What they told me is, look, we don't remember this particular case, but we always give 2 estimates when we're changing an engine on this model, because the chances are that the old computer's not going to work when you put in a new engine. So we always give a quote with if it does work and you get lucky, or if you don't get lucky, which is exactly the opposite of what you have represented to me is factual. So if you tell a man, I'm going to fix your car and it's going to be X to fix your car, and it's going to be X plus, then that's on you, because what you did caused plus to have to come into play. All you have to do to protect yourself in the future is, when you have this make a model, is make sure you say the engine may or may not work with your old computer. If not, I'm not responsible for that. You would have to take it to a Ford dealership. Now, you may not get as many engines to fix at your shop if you say that, but if you don't say that, the one case like this where it goes wrong, I am going to have you order you to pay him the amount to change the computer, because he wasn't bargaining this. And he could make a decision with a Ford Fusion that he doesn't want to pay, all that money to have it fixed. He may just want to get rid of the car for parts or something and move on. So now you still owe him technically $500. So $500 of this money is already in your pocket. Correct?
Yes.
That is correct, right? So the additional amount then to get the computer would be $939.64.
May I say something, please?
Yes, you may.
All right. He towed the car from the Ford dealership. He paid an extra $85 to tow it out of the Ford dealership. He paid $85 to tow it from his house to the Meineke.
Oh, you're right. I wasn't giving him any of that.
He paid...
Oh, my gosh, you're absolutely right. I was only giving him the cost of the computer. Thank you for pointing that out. Hold on.
No, what I'm saying
is... So it's $939.64 plus the Ford diagnostic. You're right. He gets the $89 plus... the cost of the tow, plus the Meineke diagnostic. Right. I'm sorry, my friend. It's actually $1,317.44. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Well, the more the defendant spoke, the more the plaintiff won in the judgment. So step on in here and tell me, what was it you wanted to say at the end? You were still going there.
He actually paid all this extra money to get the car towed from the dealer back to his house, back to the dealer again, back to his house, back to different shops. He paid actually what he was eventually going to make out to pay for that computer that he needed for the vehicle, with that $500 that he owed me and all the extra money that he paid to take the car back and forth.
Have you learned something about maybe having somebody sign that document the judge recommended to you?
Sure, I heard
a computer job
for the Ford Fusion. I guess I'll look into that. Sure. Okay, now I know.
Good.
Thank you.
Right around there. All right, step on out here. Give me your comment on this outcome here.
I don't got nothing to say. He want to say smart remarks as he leaving out the courtroom.
Stuff in there? What did he say to you?
He called me a punk.
Okay.
But evidently, I beat my case. That's all I'm worrying about.
Okay. Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, so here's the thing. The judge called Ford. You should know that in small claims court, judges are empowered to do things like that because they're helping out litigants who are not lawyers. In other courts, in bigger courts, where lawyers have to appear, judges don't do that. It's the lawyer's job to make that call, and if they don't, tough luck. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Burnett Thomas Hallpike. She says the defendant, her sister-in-law, borrowed money from her well over a year ago, hasn't paid her back, and family or not, she's suing for the $517.30 she's owed. This is the defendant, Belinda Hallpike. She says the plaintiff gave her money to move her and her 5 kids from Florida to New York and is now claiming the money was a loan. It was even the plaintiff's idea for her to move to New York. In fact, she practically insisted on it. Owe her money for a gift? Come on, sis. She's accused of causing family drama.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant, her sister-in-law, borrowed money from her more than a year ago and hasn't paid her back. But the defendant says it was a gift, and the plaintiff insisted on it. It's the case of twisted sister-in-law.
Thank you, Douglas. Burnett Thomas Hallpike, you are suing your sister-in-law, Belinda Hallpike, for $517.30 for 6 bus tickets that you bought for her and her 5 children to come to New York. Tell me what's going on.
I was I knew her from Antigua where I worked, and she got pregnant for one of our officers, and
she got what?
Pregnant for one of our officers, Trinidad. I'm a Trinidadian. And they sent him back, and I was very concerned that she was pregnant and whatever, and I decided was to help her. And since that time, we draw close.
And that was how many years ago? Because I know it was 5 children ago. So
I think the 15 now, 15 going on 16.
15 or 16?
I ended up staying for them. So we stayed close. When I went back to Trinidad, and she ended up being there, and I met her once. And when I came to America, I came here in 2006. I was trying to get onto her, and I think by 2007 or 2008, I got onto her.
You got onto her?
Yes, well, we connected.
Okay.
And she was in Philadelphia, married. I was in Brooklyn. So the relationship went well, but she left and went to Florida after herself and her husband broke up. And she was going through some difficulties there, but she was in an apartment. And I told her, I said, well, why don't you come back to New York?
Okay, well, when did you marry her brother?
While she was in New York still.
Okay, and so what year was that?
2010.
2010, you married her brother. Do you live with her brother?
No, not right now, because I'm in New York studying.
Okay, so go on.
So I told her, well, come back to New York, and she can get in. I went, and I got the information for the shelter where she can get into.
Wait. She was in Florida.
Yes, in an
apartment. She was in need of a shelter.
Yes, she was being evicted from the apartment.
Okay, and she had 5 kids.
Yes.
And you told her to come to New York to go to a New York shelter.
Yes, ma'am.
Why was that a better idea for her than just going to a shelter where she was?
She was already in one there.
And what was the problem with that then?
Well, she, I don't know what, she had different problems there. And she decided she was to move on. But she worked, and she was working while she was in the shelter. So she saved up her money, and she rented this apartment. But it was herself alone and the 5 kids.
So what was the problem? Why was she going to come to New York?
She was being evicted because she had lost that job.
Okay, that's fine. But then you just said she was in a shelter in Florida.
Yes.
So was she actually in a shelter in Florida already?
Before.
Well, before wasn't my question.
Sorry.
Why were you bringing her to New York in order to be in a shelter?
Because this would have been like the second time she'd have been going into the shelter system in
Why
Florida.
is a New York shelter better than a Florida shelter?
But at least I was more, between New York, and I find it would have been better down here for her because of transportation-wise and these things.
Okay. All right. So you tell her, why don't you come over here? And she says what? Okay, but I don't have the money?
Well, I told her, she told me that she did not have a bank card, and I told her was to try to find the cheapest way to come out.
So she finds the cheapest way through Greyhound?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and she needed 6 tickets on a Greyhound bus to come to New York.
Yes, so I told her I have a credit card. Make sure she told me she had $400 put aside there.
And then according to you, when she got here, she was supposed to pay you $400 that she had.
Yes.
The actual tickets, the total cost $517.30, correct?
Yes,
Do you have your credit card receipt to show me how much it cost?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then when she got here, did you pick her up at the bus station?
No, I gave her the address and she went directly to the shelter. Yes.
Okay. In any event, she gets here, and when she gets here, she goes to the shelter. They take her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then when do you ask her for the $400?
Before she reached back here.
No, I know, but when she got here, when do you ask her for the $400?
While she was in the bus, because she didn't call. She did not call me.
Okay. So did you ever see her when she got to New York?
Yes.
Okay. When you see her, what do you say?
I didn't say anything to her. She didn't say anything to me. I just dropped the
clothes.
You
just went and stared?
I went to the kids. I went to give the kids some clothing.
And you were already mad at her, so you didn't talk to her.
Yes,
what happened here? Were you supposed to pay her back the $400?
No.
And so this is like your best friend?
Yes.
Yeah, not so much anymore. Did you tell her on the phone, I have $400 and I'll give it to you when I get there?
No.
Were you ever supposed to pay for this?
No, because she never asked me for any money. She offered to pay for the tickets. I went online and I found Greyhound had cheaper tickets. That's where I called her, and I told her I found cheaper tickets on Greyhound. She told me, okay, she's going to give me the credit card to book it. And she did that. I came here. She was supposed to come and meet me at the station, but she never showed up. So me and the 5 kids stayed there. Then the police said we can't stay there no more. So I didn't remember about the address. I didn't think I brought the address with me.
Not much of a planner, are you? You didn't bring the address to the shelter that you were going to go into. No, it's not funny. You have 5 humans that you're responsible for. It'd be funny if you were on your own. Then if it makes you happy, what do the rest of us care? But you have 5 children, 5, who are depending on you to act like a grown-up. So you get here, you don't know where you're going, you don't know the address of the shelter, you don't know where you're going. What do you do?
I asked the gentleman. I remember she said the name was Pat. So I got a taxi.
And then how'd you pay the taxi driver?
No, he didn't ask. I just told him I didn't have any money.
And he just took you?
Yeah, he said
that was nice. Me. And then you get to the shelter, and what happens?
And he asked me what happened. I told him I got evicted, and I came down. He asked me for the eviction letter. I gave it to him. He asked me for the kids' birth paper, Social Security, everything, and I stayed there.
Okay. And have you been there since?
Yes, Mom.
Okay. Are the kids in school?
Yes, Mom.
How old are your children? They range from what to what?
I have 2 15, 2 7, and a 2-year-old.
You have 2 sets of twins? Where's is there one father or other?
No, 3.
Okay. Do they pay child support?
My husband, my ex-husband. For the second twin.
So the second set of twins is paying and the other ones don't?
No.
All right. Why would she give you that gift and then go so crazy about the fact that you didn't pay her?
Okay, so suppose you have a sister-in-law, okay? And the sister-in-law screws you over when it comes to money. Would you sue your sister-in-law?
Sure, I would.
You would?
Yeah.
Could screw up your relationship with your brother or sister, right?
No, I will do. I will certainly sue her.
You will certainly screw her? Oh, my God. Oh, God, go inside the courtroom.
She doesn't act like a person who was trying to give you a gift. She acts like a person who's shocked that you didn't pay her back.
No.
Yeah, but what happened to change it? If she's so generous, so happy you're coming, that she wants to pay for it, what happened between that moment and the moment of your arrival that made her change her mind?
I have no idea.
Well, unless you tell me something that makes me swallow it, then it sounds to me like a lie, like you're supposed to pay.
Well, I'm not
because in your answer to the complaint, what you said repeatedly is, I have to think of my children first. I have to think of my children first. My children come first. I couldn't pay her when she wanted me to pay her the second I got here. I couldn't pay her the second I got here. That doesn't sound like a gift. That just sounds like you don't have the money.
The thing about it, when I came here, when I moved into the shelter, she came. She called me. She said she had some stuff for the kids, and she came. She didn't say anything to me. Then she went away. She came she called me again. I think it was the second time she called me. Then she said, I want to talk to you. And I said, what? And she said, she wants her money. When she's going to get her money.
And this was when you had been here how long?
About 5-6 months.
That long? You mean she didn't ask for her money before that?
No.
Well, then why is it you say in your complaint, as soon as I got to New York in September of 2014, the plaintiff expected the money from me?
It's in 2014 she asked me for the money.
I thought you said it was 5 months after you got here. You got here September of 2014.
September, October, November, December. One of those months she asked me.
One of those. I don't know which one.
I'm not sure which one.
Okay, well, there's 12 of them. And what you said in your answer to the complaint is as soon as I got to New York in September of 2014. So you're implying that the minute you got here, she made it real clear to you that where's my money? So she was leaving you messages saying you need to pay.
Yeah, she started, I forget, yes, when we were on the bus, she left a message. But she didn't tell me, she didn't ask anything about any money. She just left a message. She was calling me. But because of, the traveling, I didn't have any.
All right, I gotta tell you, she does not in any way, shape, or form act like someone who expected this to be a gift. She is, according to you, asking for it the second you get here. The circumstances didn't change from the time that you left town to the time that you got here on that Greyhound bus. It's not like you had a fight, and so now she changed her mind and is trying to convert a gift to a loan, Judge. That I could sink my teeth into. That I could, okay, well, maybe, you can't just change a gift and make it a loan, but that's not what's occurring. What's occurring is sometimes when it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. There's nothing really magical about it. Pay the lady her money, $517.30. Good luck. Thank you.
Hold on right there, lady. Judge Millan rules that the defendant borrowed money from the plaintiff and now has to pay her back. What's your feeling?
Well, that's the case.
Yeah. What else? Why did you think it was a gift?
Because that's what she said from the first beginning. Well, she didn't say it's a gift. She said she's going to help me and the kids.
Yeah, all right, with a gift. So is there a chance maybe you misinterpreted or maybe misunderstood her gesture?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, right down there.
Thank you.
All right, ladies.
Good morning.
She doesn't seem to be really that interested in understanding what's going on.
So we spoke a lot on the phone. She would call me every day, morning, evening, noon, night. As long as I see her call and I miss it, I will call her back. It's years I've been giving to her, years. But this one time I was not working and I told her that.
All right, she still needs. Are you still giving?
No, I need to get a break from her. I need to.
All right, Harvey.
Thank you.
Okay, Kurt, you should know there is a presumption in the law that when money passes from one person to another, the presumption is it's a loan, and the defendant offered no credible theory or explanation as to why this is not a loan, but instead it is a gift. So that's the defendant's problem. And by the way, never screw your sister-in-law.